Too small, too quiet, not marketable. Those are the words boxing promoters never say on camera, but think every time Oleksandr Usyk steps into the ring. He's undefeated, an Olympic gold medalist. The first man in the four-belt era to become undisputed at cruiserweight, and then do it again at heavyweight. He beat Anthony Joshua, he beat Tyson Fury twice. On paper, Usyk is everything boxing dreams of. Talent, legacy, historic achievements, and yet, Oleksandr Usyk is a nightmare for the boxing business. Because boxing isn't just about winning fights, it's about selling them. It's about pay-per-views, global markets, sponsorships, narratives, and hype. Floyd Mayweather turned boxing into a billion-dollar personal brand without ever chasing belts. Conor McGregor made more money losing fights than most champions make winning them. Usyk did the opposite. He chased greatness, he won everything. And by doing so, he quietly broke boxing's entire business model. He makes tens of millions inside the ring, yet leaves even more money untouched outside of it. No crossover stardom, no mass market appeal, no promoter-friendly narratives. From a sporting perspective, Usyk is close to perfect. But from a business perspective, he's everything boxing promoters are afraid of. Today we're going to explain why greatness doesn't always equal money, and how Oleksandr Usyk accidentally became the perfect example of boxing's biggest problem. Before talking about Oleksandr Usyk as an individual, we need to look at how boxing actually makes money. For most elite fighters, the biggest paydays don't come from the fights themselves, they come from everything around them. Sponsorships, endorsements, and long-term brand deals. Fighters are paid to wear certain gloves, certain shorts, certain logos. They appear in commercials, social media campaigns, billboards. Their image is seen by millions of consumers who then associate a brand with success, power, and stardom. In modern boxing, this off-ring ecosystem is where generational wealth is built, and by that standard, Oleksandr Usyk is an outlier, because inside the ring, Usyk is making historic money. In 2025 alone, he reportedly earned over $100 million. Forbes ranked him the 11th highest paid athlete in the world. His rematch with Daniel Dubois at Wembley brought him a purse of roughly $132 million. The total fight purse exceeded $200 million. His two fights against Tyson Fury in Saudi Arabia, together they earned Usyk well over $200 million. Add the Anthony Joshua rematches and Usyk's total career earnings are approaching somewhere between $300 and $400 million. By any sporting standard, that is extraordinary. On paper, Oleksandr Usyk is rich, very rich. But this is where the numbers start to tell a different story. Because while Usyk is one of the highest earning fighters inside the ring, he earns almost nothing outside of it. Compare him to boxing's modern business archetypes. Tyson Fury turned his personality into a brand. Energy drinks, Netflix deals, reality television. But when he talks about retirement, the money keeps coming. Anthony Joshua lost his titles, but built a diversified empire off the ring. Real estate, Formula One investments, and one of the most lucrative endorsement portfolios in the sport. Even Jake Paul, whose boxing resume is constantly questioned, has turned attention into an industry, merchandise, pay-per-view, and global consumer brands. Now look at Usyk. The man who beat all of them has endorsements you've probably never heard of. Venom gloves, rival gear, some Ukrainian telecom like Technocom, and according to Forbes in 2025, he earned roughly $1 million from off-field deals. $1 million in a year where he made 9 figures inside the ring. That gap isn't accidental, this leads to an uncomfortable truth about boxing. The sport has never been built purely on skill, it's about personalities, rivalries, trash talk, and selling a story people emotionally buy into. Muhammad Ali wasn't only dominant, he was provocative. Mike Tyson wasn't only powerful, he was terrifying. They gave audiences something to react to. Oleksandr Usyk does not. He doesn't insult opponents, he doesn't manufacture feuds, he doesn't play the villain or the hero. He just wins. And in modern boxing, that creates a problem, because Usyk represents something that has become increasingly rare in the sport. He is humble, quiet, deeply religious. He prays in the ring, he dedicates victories to Ukraine. He spends his time away from cameras helping his country rebuild during wartime. From a human perspective, that is admirable. From a marketing perspective, it is difficult to package. In an era driven by algorithms, controversy travels faster than discipline. Trash talk generates clips, conflict generates engagement. Because if there are no viral press conference meltdowns, no "I'll knock your head off" moments, no beef manufactured for clicks, promoters can't sell chaos as the main character refuses to be chaotic, and that creates a problem. Because boxing thrives on conflict outside the ring as much as inside it. Usyk doesn't create enemies, he creates checkmates. Heavyweight boxing is supposed to be simple. Big men, big knockouts, big personalities, and big money. But Usyk breaks every part of that formula. He's not a devastating puncher, he doesn't rely on raw physical dominance. He wins with footwork, angles, timing, and ring intelligence. To hardcore fans, this is beautiful. To casual audiences, it is confusing. Casual viewers don't always recognize control or precision, they look for knockouts. They look for spectacle, and casual fans are where the money lives. Usyk makes elite heavyweights look helpless, but he does it so efficiently that many people don't realize what they're watching. That's great for purists and difficult for promoters. Fighter like Anthony Joshua is boxing's dream product. Physique, looks, marketability, not forgetting UK fanbase. In fact, Usyk wasn't supposed to beat him, but not only did Usyk beat Joshua, he beat him twice. Cleanly, convincingly, without controversy. From a sporting perspective, it was historic, but from a business perspective, it's a disaster. Because every time Usyk wins like that, he proves that marketability doesn't equal greatness, and the system doesn't protect its investments. Usyk doesn't play the game, and the game doesn't know what to do with him. Now here's the irony, Usyk chasing undisputed heavyweight status should be the biggest story in boxing. But for promoters, an undisputed Usyk is a nightmare. Because once he beats everyone, there are no easy rematches, no belts to rotate, no narratives left to recycle. He doesn't leave doors open, he closes them. Even when Oleksandr Usyk does engage with business, he does it on his own terms. His most ambitious brand was Ready to Fight, an app like Tinder for boxers to find sparring partners, training camps, analytics. Cool idea, and he's scaling it with real estate investments in Ukraine, Bali, Thailand. From an innovation standpoint, it makes sense. From a mass market perspective, it doesn't. Ready to Fight isn't Prime, it isn't designed for casual fans, it doesn't sell an identity you can buy at a supermarket. It serves a niche. People inside boxing, not the millions watching from the outside. And that difference matters. There is also another factor that rarely fits into business models: geopolitics. Since the start of the war in Ukraine, Usyk has become more than a champion. He's a national symbol. A significant part of his time, energy, and resources go into charity, rebuilding efforts, and supporting Ukrainian soldiers. That choice earns respect, but it comes at a cost. Less time chasing Western endorsement deals, less interest in controversy-driven visibility, less willingness to become a commercial product. Saudi Arabia changed Usyk's financial trajectory. The Fury fights were life-changing, but even there, Usyk wasn't the natural ace. He earned his leverage the hard way, and by winning. He could have been the global face of discipline, and there could have been global Nike or Under Armour campaigns. Instead, Usyk chose something else. Low-key sponsors, minimal exposure, in a sport where Conor McGregor turned a single punch into a whiskey empire worth hundreds of millions. So is Usyk really the worst business model? In pure dollars, no. He's made generational wealth, but in maximizing potential, absolutely.